Okay, so DEI. I'm no fan of DEI myself. I'm not going to sit here and try and defend it. Obviously, I know about the whole Sweet Baby Inc. thing. I started my channel basically in defense of Gamergate. My very first video was about that. I don't remember if it's still on the channel or not. If it's not, if it is, please don't go back and watch it. It was pretty cringy. So I'm usually on board with the whole, I don't like the whole woke thing, the whole get woke, go broke kind of thing. I don't like replacing characters just for the sake of diversity. I'm one of those people that really believe the word diversity today really basically means not white, not male, not straight, all of that. However, there are some people who are on the same side of the argument with me who kind of go a little crazy with it. And what I mean is, anytime there is someone who is like a female lead character in a game, they might be a minority or something like that, they automatically assume it's like a DEI product and don't want to give it the time of day, which is kind of crazy. And we've kind of seen this with Ciri. A lot of people were talking about how her jawline looked too strong, or she looked like she was DEI-ified in the original cinematic release for The Witcher 4 that they released. I knew better, of course, because I've been a Witcher fan for a while. I don't remember if they ever had a cinematic trailer for The Witcher 2 with Geralt in it. I know the one that had, I forget his name, the bald Witcher who ended up assassinating that king on the boat. But Geralt wasn't really in that one. But in the original Witcher cinematic, he looks different than he does in game. For the cinematic that was for The Witcher 3, he looked different. And then obviously, the Blood and Wine, the Night to Remember cinematic, which is one of the most famous Witcher cinematics, he looked different than his in-game model. So I really wasn't too concerned about it. And obviously, we had it wasn't really a gameplay reveal, it was more of a tech demo from CDPR working with the Unreal Engine people, kind of showing off stuff. Now, keep in mind, a lot of that isn't really going to be in the game. They're obviously still like in development of the game, probably early development. Well, not early, but like mid to late. Like it's not coming out like tomorrow, right? But the point is that was a tech demo, not really a gameplay reveal. It's just showing off what could be done, what could happen. But I think it's pretty safe to say, at the very least, since it is the engine that they are using, that model of Ciri more or less is what Ciri is going to look like. Now, I do want to keep in mind that another argument, for instance, Horizon, Forbidden West, a lot of people felt like, oh, they DEI-ified Aloy. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of stuff with that game that is definitely, you could argue, is DEI. Aloy's model's not one of them. Anyone who has gotten into modding with Skyrim, right, would know, anyone who's messed around with the E and Bs and all that, the lighting, understands how important lighting is to the visual representation of a video game. Just even if you don't update any of the textures, which, if I do provide an example here from my own game, I have updated textures, but still you can basically kind of see how the different lighting basically is night and day. I'm not going to install a fresh thing of Skyrim just to install an EMB just to show here, but you get what I'm saying. Another fine example is, if you remember the gameplay of Final Fantasy VII Remake when it was first announced versus what we got. A lot of people felt like it was a downgrade in graphics. Really, it wasn't. I never really felt like it was. It was different lighting. They had lower quality lighting, which caused the visuals to not look as good as they originally did. And in the case of Aloy, back to her, what I was saying is, a lot of people felt like they made her fatter and all that, and they really didn't. I originally played Forbidden West on the PS4 version, and her model was identical, one for one, with her Zero Dawn model. The reason why it looked like she had a double chin on the PS5 and the PC versions is because they had the upgraded lighting system, which kind of caused this weird effect where it lit up like underneath her chin, that area, which created a visual effect of her looking like she had a double chin when she really didn't. the light was kind of like straight on her face a lot of time, which made the contours of her face not as apparent, which made her face look rounder than it really was. And I just say all of that just to like, because the cinematic obviously has higher quality lighting and textures than like the actual game is going to have, right? It's a pre-rendered cutscene using a completely different. It's not using a game engine. It's just using different software entirely, basically. But what we saw from the model is that Ciri pretty much in the tech demo pretty much looks one for one almost like she does in The Witcher 3. So there's really nothing to worry about there. And as far as a female lead taking over a male lead, I mean, we already knew that The Witcher 3 was the conclusion of Geralt's story. It was a trilogy of games, and then you also have his whole story, in the books. Like, his story is finished. His story's done. So if you want to continue the series, you either have to have like a completely new person we've never met, or if you want to continue with a known character, really the only real choice is Ciri. I mean, I guess you could go with, I forget their names, the two other Kaer Witchers. I guess you could go with one of them as well. But I mean, your average Witcher fan would rather play as Ciri. Let's be completely honest. So I really, like, this is a situation where it just makes sense to have a female lead. Like, it's not a DEI thing. Just because you have a female or a minority or something as a main character does not necessarily mean that. And to perpetrate that idea just gives our detractors from our side of the argument, it just gives them ammunition to be right that, yeah, we are just bigoted or whatever. No, we're not. Like, I have no problem with women. I have no problem with gay people. I have no problem with black people. For instance, Assassin's Creed Shadows, the main issue with that is Yasuke was not that he was black, it's just that it was a story set in Japan. Why didn't we just have a Japanese samurai? Yes, Yasuke existed technically, but there is a lot of argument between whether he was ever actually a full samurai or he was just a retainer, and the only real source that says he was a samurai is a guy whose citations were literally just himself on a Wikipedia page and in his book, basically. It's like, why are we stretching that hard to have quote-unquote diversity when we could have just had a Japanese samurai? If it was Assassin's Creed set, in Africa, no one would really bat an eye. No one would have a problem. It's like nobody had a problem with CJ being the main character of GTA San Andreas. No one's ever had a problem with Lara Croft being the main character of Tomb Raider. So yeah, I personally think there's nothing to worry about with Ciri being the main character of The Witcher 4. I think it's great, and I'm honestly looking forward to it. I'm not going to sit here and say you should pre-order. I don't think in today's world you should ever pre-order. We've been burned one too many times. There's literally no company you can trust, because generally what happens is those companies you can trust them until you can't. They all eventually hit a point where they become stupid and greedy, and they do some stupid stuff, and you don't want to get caught holding the bag when that happens. So, as always, obviously, we're going to wait for the game to come out. We're going to wait to see if it's good. If it's good, then, recommend it. But I will say I at least have high hopes. I have hope that it's going to be good. I am looking forward to it, hoping it will be good. Anyways, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this whole thing. Until next time, this has been Solid Shepard. I'm enjoying, being back, making content, more to come. Until that, I should go.